Ladies and gentlemen, every year, the calendar changes and people expect miracles. January 1st arrives, and suddenly everyone believes life will behave differently. Same alarm, same phone, same habits, but somehow, new results. That's the first dangerous mindset. Let me say this clearly. 2026 doesn't care that it's a new year. You don't wake up on January 1st upgraded like a phone after a software update. If your thinking is the same, your results will be the same, just with a new number at the end of the year. People love January motivation. It feels powerful. New notebook, new wallpaper, new playlist. But motivation without a new mindset is like buying gym shoes and never going to the gym. You know this story already. In January, gyms are full. In February, they're quiet. By March, the trainer recognizes only the same 5 people. Why? Because most people don't fail from lack of motivation. They fail because they enter the year thinking motivation will save them. It won't. Here's the mindset you must not enter 2026 with. I'll work hard when I feel ready. Let me tell you something funny. Nobody in history felt ready. Think about Elon Musk in his early days. Multiple failed rockets. People laughed. Investors walked away. The media called him crazy. If he waited to feel ready, SpaceX would still be an idea in a notebook. He didn't win because everything worked. He won because he kept moving while things were broken. That's the difference. Most people wait for confidence. Winners build confidence after starting. Another example you already know. Colonel Sanders didn't build KFC in his 20s or 30s or 40s. He was rejected hundreds of times. Imagine if he said, "I'm too old for this new economy." No, he changed his mindset, not the excuse. But here's where it gets personal. How many people do you know who say, "This year I'll focus, this year I'll learn, this year I'll change," and then spend the first week of January doing exactly what they did in December? Scrolling, complaining, waiting. They don't lack opportunity. They lack honesty with themselves. The world today rewards people who move early, learn fast, and adapt quickly. But many people are still thinking like it's 2010. Stable jobs, linear growth, slow change. That mindset is expired. In 2026, staying the same is actually more dangerous than failing. Failure teaches. Comfort lies. People say, "I don't want to make mistakes." But not making mistakes is the biggest mistake. The real risk is not starting a business and failing. The real risk is staying in the same place for 10 years and calling it security. And here's the brutal truth nobody likes to hear. 2026 will reward people who take responsibility and punish people who keep blaming timing, luck, and others. If you walk into this year thinking, "I still have time, I'll start later, I'll change when life gets easier," you're already late. But if you change the way you think before you change what you do, this year can quietly change everything. And we're just getting started. If you think 2026 will magically fix your problems, think again. Life doesn't care if it's a new year. Your bank account doesn't magically grow, your skills don't magically improve, and your opportunities, they don't wait for you to feel ready. Here's a simple truth most people don't like to hear. Your mindset is your wealth machine, not your job, not your degree, not even your connections. Though they help, your thinking determines whether you win or lose in this fast-moving world. Let me give you an example. You know, Warren Buffett didn't become the richest man in the world by spending his time scrolling social media or binging Netflix. He became rich because he valued knowledge over convenience, long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Every dollar he didn't spend frivolously, every book he read, every principle he followed, it compounded. Now compare that with someone who spends the same money on shopping apps or the latest phone upgrade. Same amount of effort, same money. One ends up owning companies, the other owns notifications. That is the difference a mindset makes. And it's not just about money. Look at sports. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he thought, "Maybe I'm just not ready. Maybe I'll quit now." He didn't. He trained harder. He studied every move, every shot, every strategy. That mindset of relentless improvement turned failure into millions of dollars and championships. In 2026, your mindset should be like a compound interest account. Small daily habits, tiny improvements stacked over time. Reading a page a day, learning one skill a week, saving just a little more knowledge than yesterday. That is how people quietly create wealth, influence, and opportunities, while others are still chasing instant gratification. Here's something funny. Most people think they're busy. "I'm working 12 hours a day," they say. But check closely, How many of those 12 hours are spent growing, learning a new skill, reading a book, practicing a craft, or are they answering emails, scrolling feeds, watching random videos? Motion is not movement. Working is not earning. And busyness is not progress. Let me break it down further with someone you know, Oprah Winfrey. She didn't start as a billionaire. She started as a young woman with nothing but a mindset of believing she could learn, grow, and connect with people. Every talk she did, every risk she took, every early morning she endured, it all built her value. And value, ladies and gentlemen, is the real currency of 2026. Money is temporary, value is permanent. So here's the deal. Entering 2026 with your old mindset is like bringing an empty wallet into a store full of gold. You have the opportunity all around you, but you're not prepared to claim it. The rich, the successful, the innovators, they don't wait. They recognize opportunity and strike fast. And the difference between them and the average person, they're thinking. Here's a small actionable truth for you. First, stop treating money like a trophy you earn passively. Treat it like a signal of your value. Second, stop thinking time will solve your problems. Your mindset solves them. Third, stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. In 2026, you want wealth? Start with thinking like wealthy people. You want influence? Start with thinking like influential people. You want freedom? Start with thinking like someone who owns their mind, not someone who lets fear own them. And yes, it's uncomfortable. That's the point. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Looking at your own excuses in the mirror and realizing they're killing your 2026 before it even starts, that's uncomfortable. But here's a secret. Discomfort is the only sign that you're doing it right. If it feels easy, if it feels safe, if it feels familiar, congratulations, you're still in 2025. So take a moment right now. Ask yourself, am I entering 2026 with the mindset of someone who will win, or with the mindset of someone who will watch others win? Your answer will shape the first month, and the first month shapes the year, and the year shapes your life. And this is why mindset isn't optional in 2026. It's the currency of survival, success, and freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Most people enter a new year thinking more friends is equal to better life. Wrong. That's not how it works. You know the type. The friend who always texts you when they need something, but disappears when you actually need help. Or the person who says yes to everything you do, but never tells you when you're wrong. If you let those people run your life in 2026, congratulations, you just bought a ticket to frustration and wasted time. Here's a fun truth. Some people spend more time scrolling Instagram, liking posts, and keeping up appearances than actually talking to real people who matter. And then they wonder why their life hasn't changed. Yeah, your cousin who posts motivational quotes isn't going to fix your mindset. Sorry. Look at Jeff Bezos, for example. He didn't get to the top because he wanted everyone to like him. No. He hired people who argued with him, disagreed with him, and sometimes annoyed him to the point he wanted to throw his laptop. But he kept them close. Why? Because people who challenge you make you better. Or think about Serena Williams. Do you think she practiced alone and won Grand Slams? No way. She trained with coaches, mentors, and competitors who pushed her beyond her limits. The people around her were not fake yes men. They were her growth engine. And let's get really real. 2026 is going to test your relationships. People who only like your posts, laugh at your jokes, or invite you to parties won't show up when it matters. But the ones who challenge you, who make you uncomfortable, who tell you the truth even when it stings, those are the people you need in your life. Funny but true, some people are afraid to cut fake friends. But I don't want drama, they say. Meanwhile, those same friends are quietly holding you back, making you think your old habits are fine. Drama? Nah. Growth. That's what you need. Here's a simple rule for 2026. Cut the fake, invest in the real. Talk to people who make you better. Listen to people who challenge your ideas. Spend time with people who actually care about your growth, not just your likes. And here's the best part. When you surround yourself with real, honest people, opportunities start showing up like magic, not because of luck, but because your mind and your network are finally working together. So this year, don't chase quantity. Don't chase fake popularity. Chase truth, honesty, and people who lift you up even when it's uncomfortable. That's the mindset that actually multiplies your life in 2026. Remember, you become the people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're getting to the part most people skip. Action. You can talk about mindset, money, and real connections all day, but if you don't actually do something, 2026 will look exactly like 2025, and nobody wants that. So here's the truth, the people who win this year aren't the smartest, they're not the luckiest, they're the ones who build small daily habits that actually matter. And I'm going to give you a few you can start today. No excuses. First, invest in yourself every day. Not with fancy courses, not with expensive seminars, just 30 minutes a day learning something new. Read a book, watch a tutorial, listen to a podcast that actually teaches you something. That's how Warren Buffett and Bill Gates got their edge. Small time, big compounding results. Second, track your money like your phone battery. You know how you panic when it hits 10%? Treat your finances the same way. Know where every dollar is going. Know what you're spending on. Then compare that to what you're spending on growth, skills, books, connections. If your money isn't creating value, it's just confetti. Third, choose your people carefully. Not fake friends, not random social media contacts. Real people. People who make you laugh, challenge your thinking, and inspire you to actually grow. Remember, your life is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So pick wisely, and if someone is slowing you down or draining you, cut them loose. Don't feel guilty. You're not rude. You're growing. Fourth, take imperfect action. Most people spend January waiting for motivation, waiting for the perfect time. Newsflash, perfect time doesn't exist. Elon Musk launched rockets before they were ready. Oprah started her shows with mistakes on live TV. The people who win in 2026 start first, fix later. And fifth, reflect every week. Not in some complicated journal that you never open, just 10 minutes to ask, what did I do well? What wasted time? Who helped me grow? Who held me back? Then adjust. You'll be shocked how much clarity and momentum this simple habit creates. Here's a funny but true example. Most people spend 2 hours complaining about life, but would rather scroll Instagram than spend 10 minutes learning a skill or reflecting. That's like spending 2 hours complaining that your car won't start while ignoring the fuel gauge. Now imagine if you took just one of these habits seriously in 2026. Just one. By December, you would look and feel completely different. Your skills would improve, your mindset would sharpen, your relationships would strengthen. And yes, your money would grow, because value always multiplies when your mind is on fire. So don't try to do everything. Pick one habit, start today, and be consistent. That's the secret most people overlook. They think success is massive effort. It's not. Success is small, smart habits, repeated daily. And here's the kicker. The combination of growth plus money sense plus real connections is unstoppable. That's the mindset that will make 2026 your year. Remember, small daily actions may seem invisible, until one day, you look back and realize you've built a life everyone else is still chasing. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about mindset, money, and people. But let me leave you with the hard truth. 2026 isn't going to wait for you. It doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you make plans, watch videos, or take notes. Time keeps moving, opportunities keep appearing, and life doesn't hit pause. Here's the secret most people ignore. Your success this year is 100% in your control, but only if your mind is ready. Think about it. You can work 12 hours a day, scroll your feed, and complain, or you can take the same 12 hours and invest them wisely. Learn, build, connect, reflect. That's the difference between people who look back in December and say, wow, I leveled up, and those who say, I wasted another year. Let me make it simple. Imagine this. One person spends $1,000 on gadgets, drinks, and entertainment. Another person spends $1,000 on knowledge, mentors, and building real relationships. 10 years later, the first person has stories. The second person has freedom, wealth, and influence. Which life would you rather live? Here's something funny but true. Most people wait for the perfect moment to change their life. They wait for January 15th, next week, or when they feel motivated. Newsflash, perfect moment is a lie. The perfect moment is now, today. The moment you decide that your old mindset is done and you're stepping into 2026 ready to win. So here's your challenge for 2026. Stop lying to yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop spending time on people, habits, and excuses that don't serve you. So ladies and gentlemen, make this year different. Be the person who doesn't just talk about success, money, or relationships, but lives it every day. Be the person who chooses value over comfort, learning over scrolling, and truth over fake appearances. Because in 2026, the people who win aren't lucky. They aren't smarter. They just made a simple choice to enter the year with a winning mindset. And the amazing thing, you can start right now. Today, this second. Right after this video. Take one small step toward growth, and you'll already be ahead of millions of people who are still waiting for life to happen to them. Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 is here. It's real. It's fast. It's waiting. The question is, are you ready?